The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Habit 4. Think win-win. On the maturity continuum, dependence is a paradigm of you. You take care of me. You come through for me. You didn't come through. I blame you for the results. We each begin life as an infant, totally dependent on others. We are directed, nurtured, and sustained by others. Some of us may be dependent on others emotionally, physically, and by other means. Once you have internalized principles and patterns of behavior, or habits, habit 1, being proactive, habit 2, beginning with the end in mind, and habit 3, putting first things first, we stop being dependent on others, and this for us becomes a personal victory. Personal victories are needed before public victories can be achieved, just like algebra comes before calculus. First, you must master yourself, and then you can go out into the public. So the place to begin building any relationship is inside ourselves, inside our circle of influence, our own character. As we become independent, proactive, centered in correct principles, value-driven, and able to organize and execute around the priorities in our life with integrity, we then can choose to become interdependent, capable of building rich, enduring, highly productive relationships with other people. The most important ingredient we put into any relationship is not what we say or what we do, but what we are. And if our words and our actions come from superficial human relations techniques, like the personality ethic, rather than from our own inner core, the character ethic, others will see that duplicity. We simply won't be able to create and sustain the foundation necessary for effective interdependence. We all know what financial bank accounts are. We make deposits into them and build up a reserve from which we can make withdrawals when we need to. An emotional bank account is a metaphor that describes the amount of trust that's been built up in a relationship. It's the feeling of safeness you have with another human being. If I make deposits into an emotional bank account with you through courtesy, kindness, honesty, and keeping my commitments to you, I build up a reserve. Your trust towards me becomes higher, and I call upon that trust many times if I need to. I can even make mistakes, and that trust level, that emotional reserve, will compensate for it. My communication may not be clear, but you'll get the meaning. You'll get my meaning anyway. You won't make me an offender for a word. When the trust account is high, communication is easy, instant, and effective. There are 6 major deposits. The first deposit is understanding the individual. Really seeking to understand another person is probably one of the most important deposits you can make. To make a deposit, what is important to another person must be as important to you as the other person is to you. You may be working on a high-priority project when your 6-year-old child interrupts with something that seems trivial to you, but it may be very important from his point of view. It takes habit 2 to recognize and recommit yourself to the value of that person, and habit 3 to subordinate your schedule to that human priority. By accepting the value he places on what he has to say, you show an understanding of him that makes a great deposit. Attending to the little things. It's the little kindness and courtesies that are so important. Small discourtesies, little unkindness, little forms of disrespect make large withdrawals. In relationships, the little things are the big things. Keeping commitments. Keeping a commitment or a promise is a major deposit. Breaking one is a major withdrawal. In fact, there's probably not more massive withdrawal than to make a promise that is important to someone and then not come through. The next time a promise is made, they won't believe it. People tend to build their hopes around promises, particularly promises about their basic livelihood. Clarifying expectations. Imagine the difficulty you might encounter if you and your boss had different assumptions regarding whose role it was to create your job description. When am I going to get my job description, you might ask. I've been waiting for you to bring one up to me so that we can discuss it, your boss might reply. I thought defining my job was your role. That's not my role at all. Don't you remember? Right from the first, I said that how you do in the job largely depends on you. I thought you meant that the quality of my job depended on me. But I don't even know what my job really is. Basically, unclear expectations in the area of goals also undermine communication and trust. The cause of almost all relationship difficulties is rooted in conflicting or ambiguous expectations around roles and goals. Whether we are dealing with the question of who does what at work, how do you communicate with your daughter when you tell her to clean your room, or who feeds the fish and takes out the garbage, we can be certain that unclear expectations will lead to misunderstandings, disappointment, and withdrawals of trust. Showing personal integrity. Personal integrity generates trust and is the basis of many different kinds of deposit. Lack of integrity can undermine almost any other effort to create high trust accounts. People can seek to understand, remember the little things, keep their promises, clarify and fulfill expectations, and still fail to build reserves of trust if they are inwardly duplicitous. Integrity includes but goes beyond honesty. Honesty is telling the truth. In other words, conforming our words to reality. Integrity is conforming reality to our words. In other words, keeping promises and fulfilling expectations. Apologizing sincerely when you make a withdrawal. When we make withdrawals from the emotional bank account, we need to apologize, and we need to do it sincerely. Great deposits come in sincere words, like, "I was wrong. That was unkind of me. I showed you no respect. I gave you no dignity. I'm deeply sorry. I embarrassed you in front of your friends, and I had no call to do that. Even though I wanted to make a point, I never should have done it. I apologize." And it takes a great deal of character strength to apologize quickly out of one's heart rather than out of pity. A person must possess himself and have a deep sense of security in fundamental principles and values in order to genuinely apologize. The laws of love and the laws of life. In other words, when we truly love others without condition, without strings, we help them feel secure and safe and validated and affirmed in their essential worth, identity, and integrity. Their natural growth process is encouraged. We make it easier for them to live the laws of life, cooperation, contribution, and self-discipline, integrity, and we discover and live true to the highest and best within them. We give them the freedom to act on their own inner imperatives rather than react to our conditions and limitations. Whether you are the president of a company or the janitor, the moment you step from independence into interdependence in any capacity, you step into a leadership role. You are in a position of influencing other people, and the habit of effective interpersonal leadership is think win-win. Win-win is a frame of mind and heart that constantly seeks mutual benefit in all human interactions. Win-win means that agreements or solutions are mutually beneficial, mutually satisfying. With the win-win solution, all parties feel good about the decision and feel committed to the action plan. Win-win sees life as cooperative, not a competitive arena. Most people tend to think in terms of dichotomies, strong or weak, hardball or softball, win or lose. But that kind of thinking is fundamentally flawed. It's based on power and position rather than on principle. Win-win is based on the paradigm that there is plenty for everybody, that one person's success is not achieved at the expense or exclusion of the success of others. Win-win is a belief in the third alternative. It's not your way or my way. It's a better way, a higher way. Win-lose is a paradigm of the race to Bermuda. It says, if I win, you lose. The academic world reinforces win-lose scripting. The normal distribution curve basically says that you got an A because someone else got a C. It interprets an individual's value by comparing him or her to everyone else. No recognition is given to intrinsic value. Everyone is extrinsically defined. Competition, not cooperation, lies at the core of the educational process. Cooperation is usually associated with cheating. Another agent is law.